Atlantic City, New Jersey. Hi everyone, I'm Pat Scanlon, along with Howard David and Ring Magazine's Randy Gordon. Tonight, as our third Stroh Fight of the Month gets underway in just a few minutes, Bobby Czyz will be here in the red corner. Czyz, a popular middleweight, is pointing toward a fight with Tony Simpson, while Bill Medei would like nothing more than to upset those plans tonight. Both middleweights have similar styles, and now here to tell you more about that, Howard and Randy.
Well, Pat, not only do they have similar styles, physically there is a resemblance.
These guys have beach bodies. They are in tremendous shape. Some fighters don't like to get near the gym. You got to pull these guys out of the gym.
Both fighters have had surgery in the last year. Medei has had both elbows operated on to remove bone chips. That has given him 2.5 inches more in reach. And Bobby Czyz has had surgery too in the last year.
Well, the surgery of both guys doesn't really matter. There you're taking a look at the right hand of Bobby Czyz, which was examined today by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission doctors. The hand is in great shape. He says he wants to check it out today by dropping it on the chin of Bill Medei.
When people look at boxers, they think they're not very articulate. These two fighters could be the two most articulate fighters in the ring today.
Oh, they really are. But talking about articulate, these guys can fight also. Forget the articulation. These guys can punch with either hand, and should either guy drop the bomb, somebody's going to go tonight.
We'll meet both of the fighters, Bill Medei and Bobby Czyz, in just a moment.
We're back in Atlantic City now with a chance to meet one of the fighters in our main event tonight, Bill Medei from Miami, Florida. Bill comes in with 12 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws, and Bill is a very changed fighter in that he underwent elbow surgery, both arms, within the last year.
Yeah, it was the best thing that probably happened in my professional career now. October 22nd, I had the surgery, and I had many chips removed out of my elbows. Now it's given me 2.5 inches more reach with each arm, more power, ready to fight.
Bigger reach, I imagine it's changed your style a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult to prepare for a fight.
Oh, of course, drastically. You know, drastic changes. Everything's different.
Bill, you haven't fought since last September, a decision. You beat Frank Medina. Tell us a little bit about how you can shake off the cobwebs tonight.
Just gonna rumble. There's no way, you know, nothing to do. Just get in there. I believe that this ring rust and everything is just mental. If you believe in yourself, you just fight. And I do.
What do you have to do tonight against Bobby Czyz? He'll fight, he'll switch, he'll go southpaw on you?
Just gonna beat him up. There's no special thing about it. Just gonna get in there and fight.
All right, thanks very much, Bill Medei. And now let's go to Howard David.
This is Bobby Czyz. He has a record of 21-1, perhaps one of the more popular of those fighters in the middleweight division. Bobby, in looking at your fight a month ago against Bertley in Las Vegas, you fought an uncharacteristic Czyz fight in that you didn't have as much defense as you normally have had.
Well, me and my trainer, Tommy Parks, have worked a lot on defense, and in that particular fight, I didn't have to block as many punches. I just was slipping, and it made it look as if I wasn't working on defense because it came more natural. I used my counter punches effectively, cut him up, got him out of there in 2 rounds. It was good work for a 10-month layoff.
Realizing you take one fight at a time, the one loss you have was to Mustafa Hamsho. Any plans to fight him in the next year?
Well, there's plans to get a rematch with Mustafa Hamsho, but I can't look past Bill Medei tonight. He's first and foremost in my mind. Second, I guess it would have to be Tony Simpson after him upsetting John Collins a little bit. I'm looking for him in February. And then Mustafa down the road.
And you have your mom at ringside watching.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll return to Atlantic City after these messages from your local station. There you see Bill Medei out of Miami, Florida. The underdog, Randy Gordon, in tonight's bout with Bobby Czyz. There's Bobby Czyz with a record of 21-1. Most recent ratings have Bobby listed number 10 by the WBA and number 10 by Ring Magazine.
Exactly right, and Bobby, like he said, is ready to start moving up, but he cannot look past the very powerful Bill Medei tonight.
All right, let's go up to the middle of the ring, and the ring announcer, Ed Durian.
From the magnificent Cabaret Theater of the Playboy Hotel and Casino, here in the boxing capital of the world of Atlantic City, New Jersey, Main Events proudly presents the Stroh's Fight of the Month. It is a middleweight contest and is scheduled for 10 rounds and is approved and sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. The former heavyweight champion of the world, the Honorable Jersey Joe Wolcott Commissioner, Robert W. Lee and Nick D. Balistreri Deputy Commissioners. The physicians in attendance at ringside this evening, Chief Physician Dr. Frank B. Doggett and Dr. Ronald Wood. The judges, Paul Venti, John Stewart, and Carol Castellano. The timekeeper to bell is Roy Johnson. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Tony Perez. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round middleweight bout, referee Teddy Pick. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First, in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the black trim, he tipped in at an even 157 pounds. This gentleman has a record of 12 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, with 8 knockouts. All the way from Miami, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Bill, the Italian Hammer, Medei. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim, he weighed in at 163 3/4 pounds. This young man has a record of 21 wins, only 1 loss, with 16 knockouts. From Waunakee, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, here is Bobby Czyz.
As the fighters meet in the middle of the ring and listen to the instructions from referee Ted Pick, Howard David along with Randy Gordon and Pat Scanlon. And these two fighters with incredible concentration as they get ready for this middleweight bout. Let's take a look at how these two measure up. Bobby Czyz with only a 1-inch advantage in reach, but a 5-inch, he's 5 years younger than Bill Medei.
The big thing here is the reach. 1 inch to Bobby Czyz, but that's when they stretch their arms out. If you just take their jabbing arm, as I believe you should do, Bill Medei has a 1-inch reach advantage, 27.5 to 26.5. Let's see if he uses that 1 inch.
Bobby Czyz, who has had 1 fight in the last 8 months or so, of course, in Las Vegas in September, it's Alexis Arguello, Aaron Pryor card, and he won by knockout over Burt Lee. Bill Medei has not had a fight in 1 year. And that, of course, because of that elbow surgery that we talked about at the top of the show.
I have really never heard of a fighter having bone chips taken out of his elbow and actually extending his jabbing arm, his length of his arm, by 2 inches. And in his case, he did. Because when he was younger, he told us he ice skated a lot and used to fall on his elbows. And he thinks that's how the bone chips came to be.
A couple of years ago, Bobby Czyz was considered to be the media darling in the middleweight division. He was on, I believe, every one of his fights was televised in one form or another. He became an instant media hit. Good right-left combination by Czyz.
Well, the left hook, which Medei suffered his only knockout by. Doug DeWitt stopped him in March 1982, a big left hook, and then hit him with 30 unanswered punches. I think it's a matter of that he's a very slow starter, and he's got to keep away in the first round. And another left hook just rocked him. He's got to move because he's in trouble now.
Medei's face a beat red in the early stages of this round with 1.5 minutes to go in round 1. Bill Medei in the white trunks, Bobby Czyz in the black.
Howard, I'm surprised that Czyz is laying back so much because he's got Medei hurt, and he's just laying back. They're looking for that one big shot instead of swarming on him. As a matter of fact, before the fight, Czyz told us, if this guy gets hurt, I'm jumping on him.
Well, we're talking to Murray Gavey before the fight, who is the manager of Bill Medei. I asked him what the key was to beating Bobby Czyz. Medei is rocked, but he says no, he's not hurt. I disagree. I think he is hurt.
He is hurt. Absolutely. That left hook does it every time. That was a fine right hand by Bobby Czyz.
Medei is in excellent physical condition. That may be the one thing that will help him weather this round. A good right by Czyz and another one.
Well, if he's in that great shape, he's got to use those legs, and right now the legs are going.
Legs are wobbly, as Randy Gordon mentioned. A right by Czyz, a left and a right by Czyz, and Medei is in big trouble now. Medei is just holding on here in round 1 with 30 seconds to go in the round.
Bobby, if he wants to get this over, just got to stay right on top of Medei. He is ready to go. I cannot believe he's not clinching. I can't believe he's not moving. He is actually trying to fight back.
Medei jogs something like 12 miles a day. That would keep up the leg strength, but Czyz has rocked him here in round 1. Last 5 seconds of the round coming up. That's Bobby Czyz's mom, who's watching her son fight. Here tonight in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He's only seen Bobby fight, I believe, once before.
That's right. That was in Las Vegas in Bobby's last fight when he stopped Bert Lee. And, you know, she never came to any of his fights before. She always left that to Papa Czyz. And since his death, she said, I'll go to every one of his fights. I don't like it. I get very nervous, but I will go.
The psychological repercussions, if you will, of Bobby's father's death had a long-lasting effect on Bobby for the better part of a year.
I met with him right after the accident happened, back in June, and he was crying. We had lunch together, and he sat there and said, forgive me if I cry. And I said, Bobby, it's okay. You know, something like this is just terrible, and it's okay to cry.
He said he was going to dedicate, excuse me, Randy, he said he was going to dedicate the rest of his life to his dad.
That's what he's telling everybody, and you've got to believe him. And I think he's fighting with that kind of furor inside of him. He wants it. He wants this fight. He wants more than anything, more than even a title shot. He wants Mustafa Hassan back in the ring again.
Good left by Medei to get the crowd excited there momentarily.
Bobby is having his way right now. Right hands, left hooks, uppercuts. He is just picking his shots. And there's what he calls his shotgun jab, the hardest jab he can throw.
Started to mention in the first round about Murray Gaby, the manager of Bill Medei. He said, I asked him the key to beating Czyz, and he said it was to take away the thing he does best, and that is his brain. He's a very good thinking fighter. Czyz.
Bobby is a very good thinking fighter. As we all know, he was an honor student. He was accepted to med school, but he decided to accept a career in boxing. But in the ring, he's also an honor student. He knows what to do. He can slug, he can box. And Medei's trying a lot of things in there, but nothing right now is working for the Floridian.
Bill Medei was born in Saratoga, New York. I was kidding with him earlier today. I said, well, there was nothing else to do but watch one horse race a year up there, so you got to go to Miami. Minutes ago in round 2. This middleweight bout scheduled 10 rounder between Bobby Czyz in the black trunks, Bill Medei in the white trunks.
We talked earlier about the 1-inch reach advantage of Bill Medei, but every time he extends the jab, he's missing. And when Bobby Czyz throws the jab, he's landing.
Bill's last fight, Medei's last fight, September the 15th, a year ago, 1982, against Frank Medina in Fort Lauderdale. And Bill won it in an 8-round decision.
Now, Howard, remember, the right hand of Bobby Czyz is the one that had the surgery on it, and he's been landing it since the opening bell with authority to the head, to the body. A few shots have been blocked on Medei's arm, and Bobby hasn't winced at all, and he just keeps coming back, throwing that right hand. It is in perfect shape.
Coming up on 10 seconds before the end of round number 2 in the scheduled 10-rounder between Bobby Czyz and Bill Medei. We'll, right after this round, take a break from your local stations. That's the end of round 2. Now, these words from your local stations. All right, we're back in Atlantic City. Now let's go to our colleague, Pat Scanlon.
Wait a minute. Not yet.
Okay, Howard, we're waiting for Lou Duva to come out of Bobby Czyz's corner, working feverishly on Bobby right now. And Bobby has really had his way, as you gentlemen have been saying. The right hand that we were all worried about and questioned has been no problem. Now let's get Lou Duva and see how it's going.
All right, while we wait for
Lou,
Lou
a
to
comment about how it's going for Bobby.
I think he's working along pretty good. He's looking to pick his spots right now. He's looking to set him up. Watch his double jab, and he's going to come right back with fast combinations, right hand and left hook. I think he'll stop the skin in a round or 2.
All right, thanks very much, Lou. Back to Howard.
Manager of Bobby Czyz, Lou Duva. With our Pat Scanlon. Lou's he's an interesting man.
Very colorful guy. It's very hard to disagree with what he said. The double jabs by Bobby Czyz and then dropping the right hand on him. Bobby has been having his way.
Bobby Czyz's corner not only occupied by Lou Duva, but also Tommy Parks, the trainer, and Ace Murata, the cut man. Interesting story about Tommy Parks and Murray Gaby, who's the manager of Bill Medei. When Gaby was a fighter some years ago, and Murray didn't admit to how many years ago,
Guess
Tommy
who was
Parks was a trainer.
Isn't that something?
Interesting conversation must have taken place this morning. Third round of a scheduled 10 rounder. Bill Medei on the left, Bobby Czyz in the black trunks.
I just caught a very professional, very dirty move on the part of Bill Medei. As he threw the right hand at Bobby Czyz's head, he followed through with the elbow.
That works well in a hockey rink too, doesn't it?
Oh, certainly.
Earlier tonight, the body snatcher, Mike McCallum, rated #1 in the world in the lightweight division, was the junior middleweight division.
All those junior divisions get confused.
So many of them. He was on the card, and if as time permits, we'll show you some of that fight. Coming up in a minute and 20 seconds in round 3.
Bobby just crashing through any way he pleases. Right hand, left hand, jab, hook, uppercut.
Bobby's only lost to Mustafa Hamsho on November the 20th of 1982 here in Atlantic City. He lost a 10-rounder, and the first 7 rounds, it seemed that Bobby was invisible. He tried to come on a little bit in the last 3, but it was too late. 1 minute to go in round 3.
Czyz is taking a little vacation here. He just wants to see what Medei does, and he's looking for that one big shot to take Medei out of there. Bobby should just go back to using his jab.
Used it effectively in the first round and had Medei in serious trouble. Second round, although unofficially scored to Czyz, was not quite as potent, for lack of another word, for Bobby Czyz. But he's controlling the fight.
But he's not fighting as hard as he possibly can. And I don't agree with that for any fighter, because if you start carrying a guy thinking you've got him, or maybe you start getting cocky, all of a sudden you get hit with a thumb, an elbow, you get butted, and the fight's over and you lose. You've got to get your man out of there when you've got him hurt.
Who is it the one said you got to fight every fight like it's your last? Coming up on 10 seconds before the end of round 3. Medei fighting back in the late stages of this 3rd round. Beginning of round number 4 here in Atlantic City. The doctor went over and looked at the cut over the left eye of Bill Medei, and I believe that Ted Pick, the referee, has been told that he gets in any more trouble, stop it. With that great left that Czyz has, he's going to work it.
Well, if Bill Medei has anything going for him, he's got one of the best cutmen in his corner, Ralph Citro. And in Bobby Czyz's corner, he's got another exceptional cutman, Ace Murata, and working here tonight is another of the top guys, Eddie Aliano. 3 of the best working on one card.
Well, you've seen a lot of them.
But it's a deep cut over the left eyebrow of Bill Medei. Deep,
Bill
long.
Medei has got a deep cut over the left eye, in the eyebrow, perhaps slightly below the eyebrow. Don't forget, this is Bill Medei's first fight in a year. And you get in the ring with a Bobby Czyz after you've been idle for a year. Boy, that's dangerous. 2 minutes to go in round number 4.
Well, he had said earlier, before the fight, he said he believed it was a mental thing, ring rust. It's not. It's a physical thing. You've got to get sharp again. You've got to get back in the gym. You've got to get back in the ring. That's the only thing that takes up the ring rust. It's not just in your mind.
Match fit.
That's exactly right.
Bobby Czyz in the black trunks on your left, Bill Medei in the white trunks on your right. In the scheduled 10-round middleweight battle. Czyz's future plans, as he said at the top of the show, if he were to get by Medei here tonight, Bobby's going left-handed.
You know why? Because it's easier to reach that left side. And then again, a right hook from the southpaw stance of Bobby Czyz. This is only the 2nd time in his career I've ever seen him go southpaw. The other time was against Mustafa Hamsho last November.
And Hamsho, of course, an excellent southpaw.
And you know, early in the fight, he was actually landing against Hamsho. So he's very confident in the way he can fight southpaw. Watch him land that right hand. He's going to do it over and over.
Started to mention back on October the 8th when John Collins and Tony Simpson. Hold on 1 second. I think they have stopped it. The cut is just too much. The cut is just too much. Ted Pick has stopped the fight.
As we were just starting to talk about Collins and
Simpson and the whole 9 yards, and that's going to be Czyz's future, because the future for tonight is history for that man, Bill Medei. They have stopped the fight in the 4th round. Here's your winner, Bobby Czyz. Technical knockout.
Well, he is so game, Bill Medei. He was taking a battering from the opening bell, and if Medei didn't stop it, he just would have taken a battering like that all night long.
TKO 204 of the 4th round as Bill Medei suffers his 2nd defeat. Bobby Czyz picks up his 22nd defeat in his career against 1 defeat. I don't know, Randy, first round, Bobby just dominated Bill Medei in the 1st round.
At that point, he saw that he could do anything he wanted to do. He could land any punch in his arsenal. Just give me a little bit of work, Bill. Come on, don't fall down on me. But Bill is tough, and he's in great shape, and he stood up. And finally, at the end of round number 3, about the final 5 seconds, a big right hand opened up the left eyebrow of Bill Medei. And finally, Ted Pick saw enough in round number 4.
Again, 2:04 this fourth round. A technical knockout is scored by Bobby Czyz over Bill Medei of Miami, Florida. Here's a replay of the fourth round.
There's some of those big right hooks from Bobby Czyz, who was boxing out of the southpaw position. You see him again with the right hook, and at this point, the blood is pouring down Medei's face. Referee Ted Pick said that's enough.
With all of the ring deaths that have taken place in the last couple of years, referees are extremely cautious, and well, they should be. All right, we'll come back to Atlantic City, but first, these messages from your local stations. Back in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Howard David with Randy Gordon and Pat Scanlon, the corner of Bill Medei of Miami, Florida. He has just been beaten by Bobby Czyz, technical knockout in the fourth round at 2:04 of the fourth round, and that man, Bobby Chappie Czyz, has scored his 22nd victory against one defeat as he looks to climb from number 10 in the WBA rankings, number 10 in the Ring Magazine rankings, and perhaps this is one step to move on up. All right, let's go up to the middle of the ring and Ed Darien.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Teddy Pick stops this bout at 2 minutes and 4 seconds of the fourth round, and a winner by a TKO, Bobby Czyz. And how about a nice round of applause for Bill, the Italian Hammer, Medei. Let's hear it.
Started to talk, Randy Gordon, about Bobby Czyz's future. It looks like it might be Tony Simpson if they can get that fight going. Of course, Tony had an upset win over John Collins just a short time ago.
That was quite a shock. Everybody thought that it was going to be a real good fight, that John Collins, the undefeated John Collins, would give Simpson a real great fight. He fell in the second round, and right away the talk started between Simpson's camp and Bobby Czyz's camp, and it looks like that fight is going to happen early 1984.
All right, let's go up to the middle of the ring. Our colleague Pat Scanlon's with the winner, Bobby Czyz.
Okay, Howard, thanks very much. Bobby Czyz toweling off. Congratulations, Bobby, on win number 22. And I have to ask you, tonight, the opponent in front of you, was it Bill Medei, or was it the problems you've had over the past year, coming off the hand injury, the disappointing loss to Mustafa, and of course the tragic death of your father? Was that on your mind as you faced Bill Medei?
No, not that much. Nothing was on my mind like that. When I got back from Las Vegas, I was scheduled to fight Medei, and I was sick for 3 weeks, so I hadn't gotten quite the amount of training I wanted for the fight. And he hit me with a hell of an elbow in the side here, and I had to switch to southpaw, and my left hand was really bothering me a lot. So I switched to southpaw and kept running into the counter right hook. It opened up a hell of a gash over his eye, and it started to get really close to his eye, so they stopped it.
Bobby, no problem with the right tonight. You landed it, it seemed, whenever you wanted to.
Yeah, no, there was no problem at all with either hand. I got hit with an elbow in here, and I got a hell of a cramp in my left side, and I was trying to just shake it loose. But he's a game guy. He kept coming, so I had to switch, counter off my right side a little bit, and take advantage of his low left, and it worked.
Lou, what does this do for your fighter now? How do you think Bobby's progress is now, his second fight off the comeback?
Well, I like his mental attitude. I like his physical attitude. You know, I thought his jab was working beautiful out there. He's starting to set up his opponents. He's starting to think more. I think more and more Tommy Parker's doing a hell of a job with him, bringing out his talent right now. He's going back to what brought him here, and that's his left hand and his boxing ability. And I look for Bobby to go right up to the top.
Bobby, Tony Simpson next?
That's up to Lou and Tommy. I'd like to get another tune-up before the Christmas and the holidays. I'd like to enjoy the holidays with my family. But whatever they got, I hope that Simpson somewhere down the road next year, if we can come to price and terms, we'll fight.
All right, congratulations, Bobby Czyz, win number 22. Let's go back now to Howard David.
Okay, Pat Scanlon, thank you very much. We'll return to Atlantic City right after these messages.
Pat Scanlon back here in Atlantic City talking now with Bill Medei. And Bill, you thought the key to the fight was getting past the first few rounds with Bobby Czyz.
Definitely. Well, basically because of my year layoff. Naturally, there's going to be a little ring rust in there, which I was aware of. You know,
But you didn't tell us. You said it was all in your mind.
I didn't want him to know. So this is what we expected. However, I just didn't expect to collide heads like that so early in the fight and get to the spot. My plan was to, stay with it, keep it fairly, just stay in the fight until third, fourth round, and start being able to take him over.
He had problems with his right hand. He had surgery. This is the second fight back since the surgery, and obviously it was a pretty formidable weapon tonight.
Well, I tell you the truth, nothing really hurt. You get hit.
He rocked you early.
Just off balance in this now. They had no problem. We've been in there 10 rounds. These guys are, I guess, concerned with my looks, but it wasn't.
That is a nasty gash over your left eye. I know you have to get off and get stitches now. Bill, thanks for talking with us.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right, let's go back now to Howard and Randy. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right, Pat Scanlon, thank you very much. Howard David along with Randy Gordon at ringside, where Bobby Czyz has just scored his 22nd victory against only one defeat. A technical knockout on 2:04 of the fourth round over Bill Medei. Not a surprise that Bobby won, perhaps in the method that he won.
Well, Bobby looked impressive. I thought in the third round he maybe was running out of gas a little bit, and I mentioned it to his promoter, Dan Duva, who did not disagree. So perhaps Bobby Czyz should take another one or two of these kind of tune-up fights before he goes against any of the world-ranked contenders.
All right, Bobby Czyz, an impressive winner in terms of his punching power. And we'll return for more action here in Atlantic City as we look at the Mike McCallum fight right after these words from your local station.